Good morning and welcome to Park City. As you all know, I am a chef. More so, I'm a father of two beautiful daughters. I'm an educator, I'm a realist, and I'm a coach. Before we begin today, I just want you to look at this slide and just get a great understanding of basically my beliefs in food, spirituality, enlightenment. This was actually provided to me a couple years back by a great doctor, Dr. Gabriel Cousins out of the Tree of Life. Okay, dear friend, big follower. I'm not familiar if you all know Dr. Gabriel Cousins down at the Tree of Life, but he's a phenomenal individual. This actually, quite frankly, saved my life 15 years ago. Going back 15 years ago, in the heat of the kitchen, believe it or not, that's where I was. After 10 years of already graduating culinary school, I was kind of surprisingly notified by a letter from my doctor that was sent to the facility that I was working at, that based upon the blood work that he had discovered, I was at high risk for heart disease. Okay? 24 years old, folks. And the major culprit of that heart disease that I was facing was, what do you think? What was it? Food. Now, I grew up, I spent all my years growing up as an athlete. In fact, even before going to culinary school, I had the opportunity to actually throw shot put, discus, and javelin to Clemson. I chose to go to culinary school. So it had nothing to do with not being fit or anything like that. But what I realized was that what I was putting into my body wasn't as important as how much time I was putting onto my body. Great scenario. The other day, I was at the gas station. Beautiful Mercedes pulls up. I think it might have been a 2000 Mercedes. Black. Gentleman gets out of the car. I have to say he was overweight. You could tell he didn't take great care of himself, but what did he do? He reached for that super unleaded gas. Went back into his Mercedes. He pumped that gas tank full of super unleaded gas. While he was doing that, he decided to go into the convenience store. Comes out, he's got a bag of Doritos, Diet Coke, and a candy bar. And it just dawned on me that not being conscious in this sense of him putting so much time and effort into that beautiful car and not into his body was actually going to kill himself as well. I realized after getting that doctor's note that I had to make changes. I had to make changes for myself as well as for those around me. And that's a beautiful thing because when you're conscious about making changes, you can move forward so much faster. I decided that I was going to put down the cookbooks. I'd been studying them now for 12 years. I didn't even know how to cook. I needed to learn everything about wellness and about taking care of ourselves. So I resorted to books like these. Okay, some phenomenal books, some great information. I didn't want to get to this point. Okay, as we already know, grocery stores are killing us. Okay, big company manufacturers are killing us. Right there. She read the ingredients list. It was listed on the label. It was probably like 22 different ingredients, and it knocked her out. And I'm sure you've all been in that situation before, okay? This is where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. Whole foods, natural foods, everything that's great for our bodies, okay? Basically, in order to recover the process of any degenerative diseases or any reoccurring problems that have come up, look at the vibrant flavors that come out of these foods. It brings life right there to you. This is just a typical picture, and I say typical because actually I believe it's beautiful. Beautiful picture of something that I share in multiple classes that I've done across the country, primarily at this state in the healthcare system. Go figure, healthcare, right? Well, major one goal, healing commitment. Healing commitment comes through the foods that we put into our bodies, we share with our guests, we share with our patients, and we share with ourselves. Okay, going back to that scenario with that Mercedes. You put that great fuel into your car, it's going to run great. You put that great food into your system, you're going to run great. So what a better place to start than in the medical system, okay? I had already attacked Microsoft. I spent 5.5 years there. I create natural foods programs for Microsoft, global, spent time with India, did Fargo, did Charlotte, and then I had headquarters, 28,000 folks right in Redmond, Washington. Okay, so it took off. I knew that if I could implement a healthy structure in the corporate world, it would eventually catch on, and it did. Because shortly after that, I was asked to go to Google, as you heard. Okay, so I spent time at Google, went off to a couple of different resorts, worked as a private chef for a billionaire for 3.5 years. Okay, it was phenomenal. And it was phenomenal because I wasn't just cooking anymore. I was actually listening to my body, listening to their body, and going through the healing process of making them well. Just one more picture of one of our events. That's just a typical farmer's market. This is where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got access to local farmers, why aren't we using them? We don't need to be going to the Whole Foods. We don't need to be going to the co-ops. We don't need the Smiths. We've got local farmers that are creating sustainable, organic, live foods all the time, and we need to support them. This one just cracks me up, especially with my 2 little ones at home, because I could just imagine they sit on the couch and they see these commercials just as we do, okay? Little Lucky Charms fella back there, right? What's he promoting for us and our kids? Nothing. Nothing at all. This is the finished product. Go figure. Have you ever seen that on a tray that was delivered to your room when you were in the hospital? Well, it takes place here, trust me. And it actually takes place across the country because I've gone from the East Coast to the West Coast, and now I'm bringing it back in. Okay? That's my goal. That's my message. That's my true love, the healing commitment to you and myself. At this point, we've attacked 26 other locations in the healthcare system. We used the hospital, the medical center, as a template 2.5 years ago. And folks have been listening. They've been listening to what we've been doing. They've been enjoying it. And they asked, how can we implement it into our own facilities? Which I think is phenomenal. To know that you can actually leave Park City, go down to Salt Lake, or in fact, even go to the West Coast and get a feel of the exact same message that we're sharing here. Come on, it doesn't get any better than that. Do you agree? I want to thank you all for coming today. I want you all to look to your left or your right and share with one another that, and you can repeat after me, now is the time, and I'm ready to make a change. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it.